What was normal in 2000, but strange in 2020? Printing out your route from MapQuest before leaving the house. Seems like there was one year where every car was guaranteed to have a MapQuest printout on the right front passenger seat. That was 2003, I think. Low security at airports. Waiting for your loved ones at the gate rather than the luggage pickup. I really miss this part. It was fun to give them that last hug as they boarded, then wave as the plane took off. Struggling to find a clean MP3 file of that new hot song to burn onto your CD, meticulously kept in a binder with its peers. Having burnt CDs from your friends with no writing on them, but you know what songs are on it because you recognize CD just from its color. I remember 25 years ago getting on a plane and realized I forgot some important paperwork in the car. The flight attendant let me get off the plane and I ran through the terminal and out to the parking lot to my car to retrieve it. Then quickly ran back in, zipped past the security screener, out onto the tarmac, and climbed up the stairs to the plane. It was a rather small airport, so it took less than 5 minutes. But I doubt I'd be allowed to do that today. You'd be allowed to do it, you'd just be shot on the way back. You have a strange definition of the word allowed. Buying a stack of blank CDs so you can make your own custom mixes. Immediately shooting to the top of the popular group because you had Napster and a CD burner. And bonus points if you were extra like me and printed CD covers. Getting excited about receiving an email. When I got my first email address I had a friend sign me up for all this spam/C. I was sad I wasn't getting any email. The second-hand lines reboot nobody asked for. Waiting for the internet to connect. Yelling at someone in the house for being on the phone when you can't connect. I kept a folder of music lyrics that I ripped out of Dolly/Girlfriend magazines. Also loved reading the booklet inside the CD of all the lyrics. Recording songs off the radio to make a personal mixtape. Always got annoyed at the DJ for talking over the end of the song. Also, losing your internet connection if someone called repeatedly. One of my friends figured out that if she called 3 times in quick succession, my service identified it as an emergency. So she'd break in for one of those useless "so what are you doing?" calls. Dude, why couldn't she just message you on AIM? Renting or buying a game and playing it the very moment you get home. Reading the manual on the way home. I'll never forget when I felt the sin of greed from a fellow friend who said that he collected the manuals from rented games. Long phone calls with your crush after 8 PM cause it was free then. Just having a limited number of minutes and text messages you could use in a month. The first text I ever learned how to send was to my mom sitting across the booth in a Chili's. It cost 10 cents. Frosted tips and low-rise jeans with a thong whale tail. You're gonna launch me into puberty all over again here. T9 texting. Having the keys memorized so you could text like Matt Damon in The Departed. Using Yahoo to search for things. Or repeatedly signing up for 15 free hours of AOL using a spoofed credit card number and a fake name. I used Ask Jeeves lol. Dogpile.com. Pretending the internet was not gonna be much. Saying "oh yeah" when the internet runs the world. Or something dismissive like that. At one point, if it was on social media, people said but it's on social media, so it doesn't really matter. People in 2020 lose careers over their posts on social media. Had an 80s Halloween party in the mid 2000s, and I dressed as Gordon Gekko. Friend took a picture of me pretending to do a line with a rolled Benjamin, and then thought I was being paranoid when I insisted they don't post it to Facebook. Yeah, I'm standing by that decision. Somewhere in the world, there's a photo of me hitting a bong like my life depended on it. I hope I'm remembering right that my hair obscures enough of my face for plausible deniability. Being pleased your new car had a CD player and a tape deck. Or getting one of those tapes that connected to a wire that plugged into the headphone jack of your Discman. If you didn't have a CD player, I still use one of these for my phone lol. Writing down an address or telephone number to store the information for later. I'll add to that, knowing everyone's phone number. Wherever there was a phone, you could call. Now if you don't have your own phone, You can't cause you don't know the numbers. And it's an awkward thing too. I once locked my phone and my keys in the car outside a Walmart as I was getting ready to go visit my girlfriend who was living in another city at the time. Could not for the life of me tell you my girlfriend's phone number because I had literally never typed it. So I went into the Walmart. The kind customer service ladies let me use the phone to call the insurance company to send a locksmith, and then I had to call my mom, the only number one still have memorized, to tell her to call my girlfriend and let her know my heater would be changing. Technology is great but it leaves great big holes when it's not there. Saying .com at the end of everything because it was cool to do so. Whoa dude, that's so sweet it's the bomb.com. Or summer sauce. Coughing. I had the audacity to sneeze at the doctor's office recently. Every head whipped in my direction, you'd think I'd rip the head off a kitten. I have never seen so many horrified faces looking at me. Bro, every time I clear my throat I feels like I'm about to get kicked out from wherever I'm with how I get looked at. Switching to channel 3 to play video games. Now you switch to HDMI 3. Look at Mr. Moneybags here with more than 2 HDMI ports. An answering machine. Or hell, even a landline. These are still totally normal where I live. Not everyone has good cell service. Landlines are a necessity in many rural places. In the UK they are still very much the norm. 73% of UK households still have landlines. Not having a cell phone. Having a few quarters on you instead. Oh, and a beeper. I have a vivid memory from around 2000 of being at a fine dining restaurant with my family and my grandmother casually smoking a cigarette and dashing into a crystal ashtray and nobody batting an eye. Today I think you'd get arrested for smoking in a restaurant. At the very least you'd get kicked out by the manager. Smoking or non-smoking was the first question you were asked when entering a sit-down restaurant. My father, every time, extremely offended. None. Privacy. Oh man, the movie Minority Report was creepy because Tom Cruise went into the Gap and it knew what he bought last time or something like that. If only that were the only thing being tracked. Using AOL. You'd be surprised how popular it still is, especially among the elderly. No one else will tell me when I have mail. Remembering those times where the whole neighborhood played football, younger and older kids mixing up. A lot more playing outside than nowadays. Seems strange but I love that about my youth. There were always friends of neighborhood kids to play with. Phones without internet or just having internet through the phone cable. It was damn expensive. Computer screens with the big backs. Going to the record shop for a CD/single. Buying newspaper for my dad. Spending the rest of the money on candy. In 2000 we had a different currency than the euro. And so on. In 20 years things changed a lot. My kids, 4 and 1, play outside on the street with the neighbors' kids, ages 2 to 6. Because of the kids' ages there is always at least one parent from each household out to watch them and have a chat. We live at the bottom of a cul-de-sac and this is a massive reason why they can do so. Were we on a through road or just wouldn't be possible. Court monitors. I remember being given like new 22 inches Samsung court and just losing my crap over how big and nice it was. I literally got out of breath carrying that big bastard into the house and setting it up. I don't know where the stereotype that computer nerds are scrawny weaklings came from. The real computer nerds are buff as frick from doing what amounts to kettlebell exercises and CrossFit carries all day. Kids being home alone for multiple hours. Which is weird, because it's so much easier to monitor your house and kids now, so you would be perfectly fine leaving them home. The world lives in fear now though. Violence is down but news and social media would leave you to believe things are worse now than the old days. Having a school project to do and busting out the Encarta disc. My edition had a game in it with a joker in a castle. You had to answer questions to get out. It spooked me out back then. I had that one too. There was also a game about clicking musical instruments in their country of origin and my favorite was the balalaika from Russia and we would stand up and dance fast when we heard the music. This advice. Don't ever tell anyone online your address or get in the car with strangers. Now you use the internet to give a stranger your address so you can get in the car with them. Wow, never thought about that. Ask Jeeves instead of Google. then it was Ask, and then it was nothing at all. Buying a new PC every 1-2 years, because the old one can barely keep up now. 10-year-old PCs are still alright for most tasks nowadays. I have a 1997 Dell that came with the checkbook program. Still use it for that. Thing has never been hooked up to the internet, so I don't worry about bugs. People keep asking me how I keep it secure. They don't seem to understand that a standalone system can't be hacked. Asking a stranger online what their a/s/l was. I'm fairly sure that doesn't fly today. People still use ASL. How else you mean to commune with the deaf? Semi-homophobic jokes. Yes, 2000 was better than the 1980s for gay rights and respect, but you still could get away with a lot more serious joke in 2000. If you did anything weird in school you were automatically gay or queer. Hell, it didn't even have to apply to a person. When I was in high school, any bad outcome of an event, oh man, that's gay. Going to a brick and mortar store to obtain a movie to watch. It blows my mind that an independent video store in my area has been going strong since then, and even with the pandemic they are still in business. Must be a drug front. Memorizing a phone number. The media waiting with bated breath for pop stars to lose their virginity. I remember watching a clip of a grown man interviewing Britney, and he said everyone wants to know, and 16 over 17 Britney was like, what? And he was like, your virginity, and she just laughs it off. Watching that was actually really disgusting. It's gross how obsessed everyone was with young celebrity teenagers' love/sex lives years ago. I remember watching a half-hour show on MTV that had a bunch of grown men. Experts analyzed Britney Spears' music videos to pinpoint when she had lost her virginity, based on how she moved her body/gyrates her hips in the video. That was the whole show. So creepy. Flip phones. Thinking how cool it would be if your cell phone and PDA were the same device. Even thinking about ever having a palm would qualify for an answer. To start things off. 1. Store family photos in a photo album. I've been meaning to digitize ours. 2. Have a collection of music CD/VHS. 3. Record your favorite programs using VHS recorder. 4. Preserve paper cuttings. Love doing this myself. 5. Own an encyclopedia. My family owned a full set. 6. Use public telephone booths. Do these even exist anymore? 7. Use telephone landlines. 8. Remember to take cash when going out. 9. Develop a film for photographs. 10. Pay by check. This seems so strange right now. 11. Carry plenty of change. Grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr haven't used them in years. 13. Use telephone directory, yellow pages anyone. 14. Carry portable cassette players and cassettes, only hipsters use them now. 15. Check a map before or during a journey, every car had one of those essential. 16. Remember phone numbers, and we used to be good at this, not anymore. 17. Make mixtapes, romance is dead. 18. Own an analog radio. 19. Own an actual alarm clock. 20. Watch TV shows at the time they are broadcast, Wild Days. 21. Buy paper newspapers/magazines. I have an alarm clock. Mostly use it for the radio receiver though.